All right, guys, welcome back to learn a little bit more about processing. Um, this video is going to talk about how to make simple methods, okay? So, we are definitely going to make some methods so we can organize our code quite a bit more, okay? So, I've started with a brand new project here. From here on out, I'm not putting the grid lines on the canvas anymore. It's going to be a blank canvas, okay? So, in computer programming, you want to organize your code and you want to make it nice and readable for somebody else to read it and correct it or modify it if need be. Okay, so first thing before we start coding, got to put in your name, the date, and then you put in reason for the program. So this reason for this program is demonstrate code organization and using methods. Okay, so there it is. I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'm going to call this basic methods. Okay, METHOD, basic methods. All right. So where do I save this at? I know it's in, what do you call it? Python instructables, processing, sample programs, basic methods. All right, so here we go. So before, what we used to do is we put size and whatever size that we want the screen to be, right? Default 100 by 100. I want mine to be 1000 by 1000. So here's my screen right here, okay? Now, something else that we usually do at the beginning of our program, maybe we want to change the background color. Say we want it to be white, which is 255. Say we want it to be white. So there it is. The whole background is white right there, okay? Then we start coding away. Let's say we want to make an ellipse, and we want to make it in the bottom right of the screen. So we did 7,000 by 1,000. So we do 750 on the Y, and the ellipse is going to be 200 by 150, something like that. Let's see. So there's my ellipse down at the bottom. I haven't filled it with anything, so it's going to be a white color. You can just see the outline of that ellipse there, okay? No matter what you want to code here, doesn't matter. You can code almost any ellipse that you want. To say you want another ellipse. Instead of this one being at 250, this was going to be at like 300 and 750 and then 200 and 150. Okay, so everything that I'm doing here is the same as we did before, but here's where it's going to get different, okay? So in organizing your code and making it more readable, you want to use methods, okay? The way that we use methods is we put a keyword before the method. So most of the time it's going to be void. So we put void first, and then we're going to use a setup method, okay? This method, what it's going to do is going to set up our canvas for us, basically, okay? It runs one time, only once, when the program just starts running, okay? When it's first run, it runs one time the setup method. So it's going to set the size of the screen to 1000, 1000, and it's going to set the background to white, okay? So notice that these are different colors. This void keyword is green. We don't really need to know what void means right now. We just usually put it into our method so we can use it that way. Then we got the setup. So setup is a method that is a built-in method to processing. Setup, you got the open close parentheses. That's why it's a blue color there. Open close parentheses, and then you got the open curly bracket and the closing curly bracket down here. Okay. Now these curly brackets are very, very important. You have to know if you have an open one that you have a closed one. You have to know that. Okay. See if I put the cursor right here after this closing curly bracket, it tells me that it's matched up with this curly bracket up here at the top. Okay, it tells me that because it's boxed in. You see, I have a red line under here and a red line under ellipse. What it says is error on identifier, and it says missing right curly bracket. But we're not missing any curly brackets. The problem is that I have some of my lines of code in a method, and I have some of them are not in a method. So that is a setup method. We also have another method that we need to use, which is the draw method. Okay, so we put in the draw method, and I put those curly brackets around everything that we have inside the draw method. Now the draw method draws over and over again about 60 frames per second. Okay, it's going to be so fast that the naked eye can't even see it. We're not going to be able to see it. It just happens so fast. And you'll see as we go along making more complicated programs how it works, okay? But we got the void and we got the draw method there. Doesn't that look a lot nicer, a lot neater? We got what's inside the setup method here, what's inside the draw method. So these are specific methods for different functions, okay? And as we go on doing more programs and showing you more things, then you'll see why it works that way. Okay, so just for now, know that you got the void setup method and you got the draw method. Okay, now you can make any methods that you want to make. So let's say we want to make another method, and I'm going to call it rectangle, right? We put an open close parentheses, and we put an open curly bracket, and then we put a closing curly bracket down towards the end. Okay. So we can put rectangle because rect is the actual code for rectangle, is not rectangle. So we can do a rectangle code. We can do a rectangle method, and we put the rect command inside that rectangle method. Okay. So here we go. Rectangle. We're going to do, where's our rectangle going to be? So we got two ellipses up there. Our rectangle is going to be in the middle of the screen, let's say. So 500, 500. I'm going to give it a width of 400 and a height of 300. Okay. There it is there. Let's see what it looks like. Now, I don't see any rectangle around here. Do you? No, right? So there's no rectangle there. Why is there no rectangle? Well, we haven't told it to actually draw the rectangle. We did put in the method here, but we didn't call the method, okay? We have to actually call the method. So what we're going to do here is under where we have those other ellipses, I'm going to say I want to call my rectangle method, okay? So I put the name of my method, which is rectangle, and I put the open close parentheses, just like here, and I put the semicolon. Now, that's actually going to draw me a rectangle where I have this code right here. See, there's my rectangle there, okay? So I've told it that I want to draw a rectangle here. I've told the computer I want to draw a rectangle in this particular position. I call that method, and it puts that rectangle there. So you can actually do quite a bit of stuff. So I want to make a line as well, okay? So I'm going to make a line from 0, 0 to 250, 250, okay? I'm just going to make a line. I'm going to put it inside that rectangle method. Now, the way that it works is when the computer runs into this line of code, it says, okay, there has to be a rectangle method in this program somewhere. So it pauses and it goes and looks for the rectangle method, and it finds it here. It says, okay, here's the rectangle method. What do I got to do to run this rectangle method? Well, what do I got to do? I got to run this rect command first. Then I got to run this line command second. Okay. So it runs this rect command, then the line command returns control back up here to the next line of code underneath where that method was called from. Okay. So we run it, and here's our line right here. So we had the ellipses are just inside the draw method, and then we got the rectangle and the line, which is in the rectangle method. Now I could take those ellipses and separate it out. Now watch what happens. Before that rectangle method, I'm going to put a method called circle, okay? And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this ellipse stuff from here, and I'm going to paste it into the circle method that I just made. So I go ahead and run it. But if you notice, my ellipses are no longer there. They're not there anymore because I haven't actually called the circle method, okay? So if I call, the method has to be called inside the draw method, okay? It has to be called inside the draw method. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the name of my method, which is circle. Then I'm going to put the open close parentheses just like that right there, just a semicolon. After I do that, then my circles show up, my ellipses show up where they're supposed to be at. So that's how you can separate all your code and make it neat and organized. So here in the draw method, you just have the method calls, and underneath the draw method, you're going to have all the methods that you have made in order to create your drawing, okay? So the methods, the code inside the methods, you want to make it associated, right? So if you are drawing, let's say you're drawing a scene, you want to make, a building one method. You want to make maybe a person another method, or maybe the background scene one method. You can call it anything that's associated together. You usually can put in the same method. Okay, that's how you're going to organize your programs. All right. So I just want to put in a couple comments here. I'm going to put draw method runs about 60 times per second. Okay. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to put in a comment that says circle method that draws ellipses when called. See, just like that. Okay, then you can go down and put the last one in too. This is the rectangle method that draws a rectangle on a line when called. Okay, and it gets called up here in the draw method, just like that. So this is the method. Okay, this is the body of the method here. The lines inside the curly brackets are called the body of the method. And this is the method signature up here at the top. Before that curly bracket, everything before that is a method signature, okay? So you got the body of the rectangle method here and the method signature of the method there, okay? Has to have those open close parentheses. Do not forget those. Very, very, very important, all right? Your program may not run without those. All right, so now we know how to better organize our code and become a little bit better of a programmer. All right, thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Awesome.